The so-called Islamic State is shrinking. The caliphate is disappearing around them, both in Iraq and in Syria. They've lost a tremendous amount of territory, and importantly, they've lost that capital in Iraq, and their de facto capital in Syria is already under attack. Well, the big battle will be Raqqa. It's very different from Mosul, which was a much bigger city, more than 1 million people. It was densely packed. Raqqa's far smaller. It also has more difficult terrain, and already we know that IS's leadership have fled. They've moved from Raqqa and they're moving into the Euphrates River Valley. Those are badlands and very difficult for the coalition to fight in. Well, they may never be entirely defeated, but what matters to the Western coalition is, are they defeated enough so they can no longer mount attacks in the West? Have they been properly degraded? IS isn't just about territory, it's an ideology. I've met a lot of IS fighters and they are brutal, they are murderous, but they're also fantastically committed and inspired by that brutal ideology. What happens to them? Do they still get drawn to the ideology now that there's no caliphate? Well, the coalition certainly thinks so. And there's also a bigger question here. IS didn't just thrive because of their ideology. They thrived because they were able to exploit gaps in societies, whether they were religious, sectarian, whether they were economic, whether they were ethnic. And Iraq and Syria hasn't gone anywhere near to healing those gaps. So the danger always with IS is that it could morph into a different ideology, still exploiting those tensions within societies and still being equally dangerous.